Well, good afternoon and happy spring from all of us here at Litson Motors, America's closest dealer to Winnebago, Itasca, and Era here in Forest City. I want to welcome everyone to our webcast today. And we have an exciting webcast where we've really had great audience participation, so I encourage each of you to log in the lower left-hand part of your screen. We actually won't be assembling any of your personal information. Just go ahead and assemble a chat login where you can actually chat in questions live to us as we go through the all-new 2013 Winnebago, Adventurer, and Itasca Suncruiser lineup. We actually have the entire lineup here today, the 32H, the 35P, and the 37F. So what we're going to do today is walk you through the 35P, and as we go through that, you'll have an opportunity to chat in all of your questions, and we'll cover them as we go. So make sure that you get logged in with a chat handle and log in the lower right-hand corner. Also, just keep in mind that we can do this live with any of our sales consultants in a one-on-one setup in which we can actually conference you in the comfort of your home or office with any of our live sales consultants on any of our in-stock inventory at any point in time. I want to welcome behind the camera Josh Dam. He's our Special Events and Marketing Director, and also Casey Singlestead, our RV Sales Manager. So again, everyone welcome. Be sure to get logged in with a chat handle and chat in your questions as we go, and I'm going to turn the baton over to Casey. Again, welcome.
All right, so just kind of as we usually do, we're just going to kind of take a quick walk around the 35P to show you some of the features of this floor plan. As Ron mentioned, we do have all three of the floor plans here. This in particular one is the 35P. So right here behind the driver's seat is the Rest Easy sofa that Winnebago utilizes. It's a completely electric sofa that allows you to completely customize your living space. So this particular one is a dual control, which ultimately means that there's controls on both sides of the sofa, so that way whoever you're traveling with, if one person wants to lay down to watch TV and another one still wants to be sitting up to read a book, you can certainly do that. They're very easy to operate. To recline the sofa, it's simply with a touch of a button here that'll completely lay this flat. Now the nice thing is that it also has the pull-out foot ottoman that will allow you to make this into a sleeping space. When you do have this completely folded out, it is 70 by 75 inches is the sleeping space, so you really get a full queen sleeping space here in the front with the Rest Easy sofa. What's also nice is if you actually don't want to use it to be laying all the way down, you can still use this footrest simply by sliding it in closer to you. So that way you do have a footrest as you sit and enjoy the living area of your coach.
What's also great about that is it actually runs on a 12-volt motor. So if you're actually traveling down the road, or if you're actually dry camping or hotel camping, you can utilize the dual control Rest Easy sofa without having to be plugged in or without having to run your generator. So it's a great feature that can be utilized even when you're not even stationary.
Yep. So across from the Rest Easy sofa on the opposing side is the Benchmark Dream dinette. So there's a few really unique things about this dinette that Winnebago utilizes. First off, it is a benchmark, and so what that means is that both of the seat cushions are actually on a piano hinge, which ultimately makes it so that you have not only really easy access to all of your storage, but you can actually use the entire storage space because you're not working around having a drawer or having to mess around with a piece of plywood and a separate cushion.
It's a great location for, bottled water, heavy canned goods, things like that, because there's no weight limits on it. You can access every square inch of storage.
Yeah, so this particular benchmark, it does also have 3 seat belts. So you have 3 seat belts in the dinette as well as an additional 2 in the Rest Easy sofa along with the cab seats. The other nice thing about this dinette is it's also referred to as a dream dinette, which basically means that it's extremely easy to make down into a sleeping space. If you were to do that, you'd simply fold up your piano hinge seats, and the dinette simply has a switch on it that you'll flip over, and it's literally just a matter of pushing on the dinette and it slowly lowers down into the sleeping position, and then the 2 backrests here will fill in the table.
Just a question that recently came in from Daryl on our chat panel, wanting to know whether or not there's a different dining option here. And there is a different dining option. It's a standard benchmark dinette. And then the follow-up question that Daryl had submitted was wanting to know if the sleeping surface was different. And they're actually not. They're both 42 by 67 inches because the two cushions are the same. Really the only configuration comes with the extension on the benchmark dinette.
Right, that brings us to the last unique thing about the dinette is the fact that it is extendable. So you can actually add in an additional section to the table. It's about 2 feet. This is what the additional section looks like. And you can actually store it right underneath your bed. There's an additional space in the rear wardrobe closet that you can store that as well. Comes with a nice felt cover so that you don't damage that at all when you're not using it. But then as you can see, it does have a table leg that will flip down so that way it'll stabilize your table extension. And then you get 2 folding chairs that are upholstered the same way as the dinette that you can pull up there as well. So then you can essentially seat 6 people here at this dinette.
There's just a tremendous amount of seating in this area because both of the ultra leather cab seats up front, as we have them set up right now, rotate and swivel. And then you also have the extendable benchmark dinette and the rest easy sofa. So this is really just a great area for lounging, and you can actually bring a lot of people into this setup.
Kind of covering the cab area here, as Ron mentioned, as you can see, the 2 cab seats both rotate and swivel around. The driver's seat is a 6-way powered seat. And then you also have the nice convenience of the footrest that comes with the passenger seat as well. So it becomes a very comfortable seat here when you are using it or traveling down the road as well. And then of course the passenger also gets the in-dash workstation as well. That's really great so that you don't have to have your laptop sitting on your lap as you travel down the road. Gives you a little surface that you can work with as well. So we'll kind of work our way through back into the galley and entertainment portion of the coach. The 35P comes with a 40-inch Samsung TV. And then also one of the really nice things about the Adventure Suncruiser is that it comes with the HDMI matrix that basically controls your entire entertainment system from one convenient location. So as you can see here, it's all very clearly labeled as to what TV each section corresponds with. As you can see, the 35P also has the exterior entertainment option, which we do have on this particular coach, as well as both of the 32H and 37F that we have here as well.
And Casey, if I can interrupt, Eric just chatted in a question wanting to know if you can actually watch satellite TV in the bedroom off of this satellite receiver up front. And with the matrix system, that's what that allows you to do. You can actually house one satellite receiver on the top shelf and then actually funnel that signal to any of the TVs, whether it be this TV, the bedroom TV, or the outside patio TV, and it will still preserve the digital signal. If it's a satellite, it'll bring in the high definition, and if it's local off-air antenna, you'll be able to pull that in on any of the 3 TVs. So good question from Eric.
The entertainment system also features the Blu-ray player that comes along with that as well, that's located here on the top shelf. You'll notice kind of throughout the coach you have several of these infrared eyes that you'll see here that's what communicates with your remote, and you'll find another one in the bedroom, so that way you don't always have to be up and pointing it here to control everything. So you have lots of infrared eyes that will do that for you. Down below the entertainment area is where you just have one area that's just some additional storage for you, and also conveniently located right by the entry door is also your breaker panel and some of your solenoids as well. So you have really easy access to all of those whenever you should need them. Taking a look over into the galley area, a really great feature of the 35P is that you do get this really nice size countertop extension that simply flips up. One of the really nice things about the Adventure Suncruiser is that Winnebago does utilize all Corian countertops throughout the coach. Again, the Adventure Suncruiser is the highest line of Class A gas that we offer, so you get a lot of these nice high-end finishes as a part of that. So you get the double bowl stainless steel sink, and that also comes with the Corian countertop covers as well, so that you can use this as additional workspace when you're not utilizing the sink. It does have the separate faucet for the water filtration center. One of the things that a lot of our customers really like about the 35P is that it also has an appliance garage located in the corner. One of Winnebago's ways of truly utilizing all the space that's available to allow you to have some additional storage. Also with the conveniently located electrical outlet here in the galley as well, for all of your appliances that you might need, coffee makers, things of that nature.
And I'm just going to interrupt for one quick second. We had two questions that actually came in. One, Jan wanted to know whether or not this was tile throughout. We're going to cover that here in a second, Jan. The second question came in from Eric wanting to know if Josh behind the camera could just give us one nice wide panning shot of the opposing slides up front. So this is, since Josh is in this location right now, I thought this was a good opportunity to break in and do that. And then Josh, also when you're done, what we'll have you do is zoom in and take a look at the individual vinyl tile.
Yep, so one of the really great things about the 35P is that it does have 3 slides, one of which is a full wall. So that means that both in your living area as well as back in your bedroom, you get opposing slides that really opens up the entire floor plan.
Yeah, this coach with the opposing slides up front opens up to be almost 15 to 16 feet wide with the full wall slide on the driver's side and then the opposing living slide with the benchmark dinette. And Josh, when you're done with that sweeping shot, we'll kind of zoom in and take a look at the individual tiles. These are individual vinyl tiles. Now, the advantage to that is that, heaven forbid if you nick, ding, or scrape one, each one of those can be replaced individually, and actually you can do it yourself. It's very simple and very straightforward, but what you're seeing in here are just some carpet scraps. And then we do the soft touch of soft touch of carpet actually in the bedroom. So, good question from Nancy.
As we kind of look throughout the 35P, all of the cabinetry that you see is handmade here in Forest City, and this is the coffee glazed Vienna maple cabinetry.
While we're working through here, Lee had just chatted in a point that he has a 24G view profile on order. He's going to be picking that up. And then Roger has a question on what type of shade systems we use, and I thought since we were over here on one of the larger windows, we could cover that. So good question coming in from Roger.
So Winnebago utilizes the MCD American Duo roller shades. Really great system. As you can see, as Ron's demonstrating, this is the solar roller shade. So the really great thing about these as opposed to the pleated day-night shades is that you don't have any strings to worry about. The maintenance, there really isn't much. You don't have to worry about strings. As you can see, they're very easy to clean. You can simply wipe them down. And it's just with an easy release, pull and release system that they glide back up into their place. The nice thing about this solar shade here is, as you can see, you can still actually see outside when it's pulled. Whereas when you have the day-night pleated shades, you can no longer see outside when you pull the day shade because it really does block everything out. And this way it blocks out the sun, but you can still be seeing outside of your coach and enjoying the outdoors at the same time. Both of the nightshade as well as the day solar shade, you can adjust the speed at which it retracts as well as the point at which it stops. So you can see that the nightshade stops here. If you wanted that to be higher or lower, there's simply some turn knobs on each side, one of which will control the speed, the other will adjust the stopping height.
We're really starting to use those on a lot of Winnebago's lineup. In fact, almost the entire lineup offer these. And Lee, even on your view profile that you're picking up on the 4th, you'll have that in your view profile. So it's a great window covering system that we've been utilizing really since about 2010 with our partnership with MCD.
One of the really great things about that as well is that Winnebago does use powered versions that covers your entire windshield. So on your front one-piece windshield, you'll have a powered solar shade as well as a powered night shade. Now, currently we have the engine running, so they'll only go down to a certain height. However, once the engine is off, you can bring those all the way down to give yourself some privacy once you're stopped at your campsite. And again, the nice thing with that solar shade, you can pull that down and still get some nice natural light into your.
And it's really convenient because if you're traveling alone or if your passenger might be asleep, you actually have all of that coverage from that entire one-piece windshield. So it's a great way to keep the light out as you're traveling down the road, especially if you're traveling alone or with a passenger that's not alert.
All right. Continuing through the galley, just as we had the Corian covers with the double bowl stainless steel sink, you have the same thing to cover your 3-burner range. Kind of taking a look at the drawers that Winnebago uses, really great thing. They're on the metal ball bearing glides, so just like what you would have at home, and as you can see, they're completely full extension, so they don't stop part way out. You can truly access every inch of your every drawer that you have. Below the sink is also where you'll find a great spot for your wastebasket, as well as specific storage areas for all of your Corian countertops so that you can strap those in while you're driving down the road or when they're not in use so that you can avoid damaging those.
And we're going to take one quick pause as we reconfigure inside the coach here, and we'll be right back with you.
Okay, so basically we were just kind of wrapping up the galley. We've covered all of the sink and stove area. It does feature the microwave convection oven, so this will bake, brown, and roast. Will do everything that a microwave as well as an oven would do. So what's really great about that is it allows you to have storage below your 3-burner range rather than that space having to be consumed by an LP oven. Coming back to one of the things that might have been cut off, excuse me, when we lost our audio, is the fact that Winnebago does use the full-length extension drawers. It has the metal ball-bearing glides, just like what you would have in your home, that allows you to access every square inch of every drawer that you have in your coach, rather than it stopping part way. So a really great feature that Winnebago utilizes. Also located underneath the sink here, you have a really great location for a trash can as well as dedicated storage space for all of your Corian covers. So that way you have a place where you can strap those in so that you can avoid having any damage or chipping or cracking to those when they're not in use.
And Casey, when we were covering the microwave, I think Eric had noticed the gross vehicle weight rating disclosure on the microwave that we had, wanting to know if that's the actual chassis utilized in all 3 of the floor plans.
So that's a great question. The 24,000-pound chassis is a feature that is an option available on the 35P. It does come standard on the 37F, the larger floor plan. And then the 32H will be the 22,000-pound. The 22,000-pound chassis is what comes standard on the 35P. However, we option ours out to have that additional gross vehicle weight rating that gives you some additional cargo carrying capacity as well as some better handling from having that heavier chassis.
So that was a good question, Eric, and we'll continue on here now through the galley.
So kind of the last feature here in the galley area is, of course, going to be the 4-door refrigerator. Winnebago does upgrade the look of that with the veneers that go on all of the doors that goes along with that coffee glazed Vienna maple cabinetry. So you really get some really great capacities here in your refrigerator and freezer. As you can see, this does feature the ice maker as well. And the refrigerator space completely opens up. You have all the adjustable bins and shelves. So you get some really great space here in your refrigerator. We're going to go ahead and just kind of turn around from where we're currently standing across to the other side of the hallway, which is where you'll find your bathroom. So this is the bathroom located here in the 35P. You'll notice it does have the pedestal porcelain toilet that does have the foot flush. And you also have what would be referred to as a garden-style shower, which basically means that it's located in the corner. So you do get some really great rotational room while you're in there. As you can see, we have a lot of natural light filtering in from that skylight that's located overhead. Winnebago does use a one-piece pan as well as a one-piece surround. Really great storage along the corner for all of the things that you'll need in your shower, as well as a really nice bench as well. Again, Winnebago utilizes the Corian countertop throughout, including the countertop that's located in the bathroom. And some really great storage space in here as well, magazine rack, towel rack.
And it's got a redundant 12-volt water pump switch so that, you know, if you are utilizing the facilities and you forgot to turn your water pump on, if you're dry camping or resort camping, or excuse me, hotel camping, you can actually turn it on from inside the bathroom as well.
Another really great thing is that even when your slide room is pulled in, which would be this full wall slide that is on our back side across from the bathroom, you're still able to access the bathroom as well as the refrigerator while you're driving down the road.
One question that Scott had just chatted in with respect to the refrigerator, wanting to know if this is a three-way refrigerator, if you could cover that, Casey.
It is not a three-way. A lot of times the three-way refrigerators you'll find are typically the smaller sized. So this refrigerator can be used, it has a few different modes that you can go through. You can either set it specifically dedicated to LP, or you can of course use your electricity whenever you are plugged in or running your generator. And the other nice thing is that you can just set it to automatic, and that way it will use whatever source it has available. So it'll default to electricity if you have that available, otherwise it'll automatically switch over to your LP. Also located here in the hallway area is your one-place panel. So Winnebago does such a great job in really putting all of your controls in one convenient location. So just kind of starting from the bottom here, you have light switches located just below the panel, and just kind of working your way up, you have a 1,000-watt inverter, which will allow you to run your entertainment centers as well as the majority of your outlets throughout the coach as well. So that way you can use that while you're dry camping and not plugged in or running your generator. Just above that is where you'll find the control panel for that 5,500-watt Cummins Onan gas generator. This also has the automatic generator start system on it, which is an option on the Adventure Suncruiser line. So basically what that means is if for any reason you should lose shoreline power, you can set your generator so that it will automatically start that, so that way it'll keep your batteries charged. And also, like if you're traveling with pets and you lose power or blow a breaker at your campground, your generator will start so that your air conditioning will fire on as well. Above that, you'll find your power line energy management system. So this is what will regulate basically how many amps you have coming into the coach and how many you're consuming, so that way it'll automatically shut down some of the things that aren't as important, so that way you can avoid blowing those breakers. Above that is your one-place system for basically everything that has to do with fluids. So you have another switch for your water pump. Your water heater, we have both LP as well as electric. This is a 10-gallon water heater, as well as all of your levels tests. So you can test all of your tanks to see where all the levels are, fresh, black, gray, as well as your LP. And then also you can see how many where your battery voltage is at as well on both your chassis as well as the house. Moving up, you have the control for your air conditioning system. That'll run your air conditioners. You have two 13,500 BTU air conditioners. Both of those have heat pumps, as well as your furnace is controlled from there. Above that is your master slide room control switch, as well as the controls for your slide rooms as well.
And Casey, if I can just interrupt there, Eric had chatted in a question wanting to know why Winnebago went away from basement air conditioning. And I can cover that if you don't mind. Winnebago has utilized central air conditioning for roughly 15 years. And the True Air basement air was very, very successful for us for about 15 years or so. A couple of different reasons why we had to go away from it. One was to make room for some of the EPA emissions on our diesel pusher lineup. The second was as we went to much larger square footage in terms of living area with full wall slides and opposing slides, we wanted to be able to size the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system correctly to ensure that we had adequate cooling. So Winnebago freed up some storage on the diesel pusher lineup, freed up some storage for EPA emissions. But in the Adventure Suncruiser lineup all the way up and through our diesel pushers, Winnebago's done a phenomenal job of redesigning their heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system. And typically people want basement air because they don't want anything on their roof due to the noise and potential water runoff. But what Winnebago did is added 6 inches of ceiling insulation inside the roof. Then in addition, the locations where you actually get the noise, the cold air returns for where the grates would normally be, Winnebago covered those with insulation, but put in one continuous plenum of cold air return ducts and one continuous plenum of forced air ducts. So you don't have that noise from the rooftop air conditioners. It's very, very quiet. It's very, very efficient. Then Winnebago took it one step further and actually plumbed all of the water runoff from the air conditioners all the way to the rear to the driver's side, and then it drips out down below. So you don't have the water runoff up on the roof, but you have a very efficient system, a very quiet system, because again, they've added all the insulation and reconfigured the forced air and cold air return ducts so that they're actually now recessed with all the additional insulation. So very, very quiet and very, very efficient. So good question from Eric, thank you. Bob had actually just chatted in a question wanting to know whether or not there was a pantry. And in this particular setup, the way that we have it, the galley storage is above and below because we've actually optioned out what we're going to cover next, which will be the stacked washer and dryer.
Okay, so as Ron just mentioned, we do have the optional washer dryer, which is stacked here next to the 4-door refrigerator. If you do not choose to get this option, this will be all storage. However, Winnebago utilizes the Splendid stacked washer dryer. It's one of the best washer dryer systems out there for both RV as well as marine. Basically, you get a whole lot of capacities, as well as both of them are Energy Star rated, so you're conserving electricity as well as conserving water when you use these. The dryer is actually 4 cubic feet. It has the stainless steel drum as well as a convenient filter here at the front that is your lint trap, excuse me. And it's rated to hold 13 pounds is the capacity for the dryer. So again, you can fit a whole lot more in this stacked version versus what used to be the combo. Down on the washer, this is rated to hold up to 15 pounds. You actually have 13 different wash cycles as well as 4 special wash cycles. And again, both of them are Energy Star rated, so really doesn't use a whole lot of energy. And as far as water consumption, it depends on the type of cycle that you choose, but it'll consume anywhere from 7.5 up to 16 gallons per cycle, depending again on which type of a cycle you choose to use. So that's the Splendid, the stacked washer and dryer option here in the 35P, which is also an option in the 37F. We'll move back into the bedroom area of the coach. So here in the 35P, we have optioned it for the king size bed. It does come standard with a queen. This is the Ideal Rest Select Comfort mattress. And again, this is a king size sleeping space. One of the really great things about this bed is that you also get some really great storage down below. So simply by lifting, you can see that you have a great amount of storage space down here. This is where we do currently have those folding chairs stored. As you can see, there are some nice felt bags that you can store those in so that you can avoid any type of damage. And again, this is all on struts, so it easily lifts itself and holds itself open, so that way you're not having to struggle to keep that up when you're accessing your storage down below. And again, this is the Ideal Rest Select Comfort mattress. You get a really nice pillow top on the top of the mattress. Really comfortable mattress to have in your RV. And again, you get individual controls on each side of the bed for that, so that each of you can adjust the mattress to exactly what you prefer.
Then picking up on the demonstration that we did earlier, we continued the MCD day-night shades into the bedroom. And up top, you have some nice recessed reading lights with a switch conveniently located right atop that. So if you're reading in bed, you can certainly just turn that on and off, and you've got lights on each side. So really well thought out design.
Yep. Across the rear of the coach here is where you have the really nice sized mirrored wardrobe. On one side, you do get the option for the double shirt closet, basically, where you can go ahead and take this pull out if you have longer items that you need to hang here, but otherwise you do have the option to have some additional hanging room here. One of the great things about the 35P is that you actually do get some hidden storage down below the wardrobe closet as well. Simply by moving the fitted carpet, that exposes a compartment here that has a whole bunch of additional storage down below, and that is on both sides that you have that additional space. This is where, again, some folks will store the extendable tabletop down in that storage. And again, on the other side, you'll get some additional hanging room as well as the shelf up above.
And then Casey, as you're transitioning away from that, Bob had chatted in a question wanting to know whether or not this bedroom setup was available in a queen, and it certainly is as well. We typically option out with the kings, but it is available with a queen as well. So good question, Bob.
Yep. Again, the queen size mattress is what would come standard in the coach, and we have simply optioned it to have the king size bed. You still get some really nice walking space around the edges, plus that additional size, and you still have the nightstands on both sides of the bed as well that each have their own electrical outlet for any alarm clocks or phone chargers, things of that nature. Here in the corner you get, again, some really great storage extending off of the wardrobe closet, so you get some nice shelves here as well as drawers that go all the way down. Really great stack of drawers. Okay. Sorry about that. So again, here in the bedroom you have some really great storage between the wardrobe closet as well as your full stack of drawers, additional shelves here, as well as the full bank of drawers here on the full wall slide. So you get some shelves over here and then a really nice hamper that pulls out, so you get a great place to put any dirty laundry that you have as well.
And Casey, while you're back there, Eric had chatted in a question wanting to know if we could just cover the matrix selection system and the TV up top.
Yep. So here in the bedroom of the 35P, you do have a 26-inch Samsung TV. Again, this is all controlled by that matrix system that we covered earlier. So what's nice is you do have those infrared eyes so that you don't have to be getting up each time you want to change the channel. It runs all from right here. Below the TV is where you do have this space if there's anything else that you'd like to add to this, as well as the control panel for that as well. So, and again, all of that is controlled off of that matrix system. So that you don't have a million different systems that you have to have different remotes for and things like that. It all is off the same thing. So.
And then while we're still in the bedroom, Bob had chatted in a question wanting to know if that king bed is available in a queen.
The Ideal Rest?
Yep.
Yes, you can get the Ideal Rest Select Comfort in the queen option as well. So you really have a few different options. I believe standard is an inner spring queen. And so then you have the option to either upgrade to the Queen Ideal Rest Select Comfort or the King Ideal Rest Select Comfort.
And then a follow-up question to that, just wanting to know what the difference is with respect to the nightstand.
Oh, sure. So, as you can see here, you do still have the nightstands with the King option. However, if you do have the Queen, ultimately what you get is a smaller platform, and those nightstands are extended by the smaller width of the Queen bed. You gain that with nightstands.
And then Josh, if you can just zoom back, you can see there's 110 volt outlets on each side of the bed. Very convenient location for a CPAP or a BPAP machine or a cell phone charger or even an alarm clock.
Yep. And then of course, as you can see here against the wall is where you'll have that privacy door for your bedroom area that'll slide all the way across to kind of block out your bedroom, give you some additional privacy at night or when you are traveling with others. One of the great things about the bedroom is that it does also have the ceiling fan. There are two different speeds for that, low as well as the high option. So I'll just kind of flip that on here. So this will be your low speed, and then you can also switch that up to the high speed. You also have the option to reverse that. So depending on if you're trying to move cold or warm air, you can change the direction in which the fan is rotating.
And Winnebago's done a great job with their suppliers in terms of bringing in just a completely whisper quiet ceiling fan. We have outstanding audio right now, and you can pick up the fact that there's just absolutely no noise coming for that. So great way to bring in some recirculated air, or even bring in the side windows to recirculate some of that air through the coach.
Yep, because you do have the powered ventilator fan here in the 35P that'll allow you to circulate a lot of that fresh air from outside when you have the nice summer days that you're traveling.
And then Josh, while you're working back up, let's cover Jan's question again with respect to the soft touch of carpet that we have in the bedroom, and then the individual vinyl tiles as we work our way back up front.
Yep, so as you can see here, the carpet is located here in the bedroom. You'll notice as we go back up, there is a floor vent located just next to your bed. Really nice thing about this is that floor vent is connected to your auxiliary coach heater, which will allow you to use the heat off of the engine to heat your coach while you're driving down the road, or anytime the engine is running for that matter, so that you can get some heat blown through this heat duct. And as Ron mentioned with the floor, these are individually placed vinyl tiles that are easy to replace should you ever damage or nick any of those floor tiles.
And then Josh, if you can swing back around and just cover the entertainment system again. Scott had chatted in a question wanting to know whether or not this is a surround sound system with a subwoofer. And if you can see up top, you can see we actually have the center channel and then the two left and right speakers mounted overhead. And so then we do have that surround sound system. The subwoofer is actually located right underneath the galley here. So it does have the subwoofer down below as well, Scott. So good question. And then Josh, while you're up top, you can actually hit the insulated powered ventilator fan, which we actually do have switched to one of the wall switches. And so with the increased ceiling heights that we went to several years ago, it made it basically a requirement that we place these powered ventilator fans with switches, so you don't have to utilize a step stool to get up there, so they're switched to the wall outlets as well.
Yep, and there are two of the powered ventilator fans, one located here between the galley and living space, as well as another one located in the bathroom. So you can get some really great air circulation from that. Josh, if you want to swing back up into the ceiling, we'll just cover a few other things that are up here. Winnebago did switch over to the King Jack TV antenna, which allows you to get HD programming off of your local channels. So whenever you're parked at your campground, you have a digital strength meter that allows you to very easily find your best signal, as well as it's very easy to adjust the angle of that TV antenna, and you no longer have to worry about cranking it up or down. So there's no forgetting it up when you pull out of a campground and then ultimately losing one. I'm sure plenty of you have done that before. I know I have. So.
And then while we're talking about bringing in local off-air high-definition programming, one question that had come in from Daryl wanting to know what type of satellite this actually had on it. And all of our Class A Adventure and Suncruisers are pre-wired for satellite, and we can add any type of a satellite that you'd like, whether or not it's a stationary automatic or an in-motion or even a portable in the rear. A great thing, Daryl, to check out would be our archived video library, in which we actually have last month's webcast where we brought in one of the representatives from King Controls in Minneapolis, in which we actually did Satellite RV 101, and we also have a great video on our YouTube channel that walks you through those three types. We typically order all of our coaches with the pre-wire because each of our consumers tends to have different preferences, and there are some unique things in terms of bringing in high-definition programming as opposed to just standard definition programming with respect to Dish Network or DirecTV. So check out last month's archived webcast, and also check out that video that we have on our YouTube channel. It's also in the video library, and that's Satellite RV 101.
All of the interior that you're seeing here in the 35P is what's called Opal. You will have an option for, there are 3 different interior selections, as well as 4 different full body paint options that you can choose when you order an Adventure or a Suncruiser. So you get lots of different options for colors to make sure that there's one that that you'll prefer.
Then we'll work our way forward and cover the cockpit area, touching first, Casey, on the driver's door up front.
Sure. So one of the really nice features about the Adventure and Suncruiser is the fact that it does have the driver's door. So again, this driver's seat is a 6-way powered, so I'm just going to go ahead and move that back so you can get a better look at that. So the really nice thing about the driver's door, well, there's a few different conveniences to that. Of course, you have very easy in and out whenever you are stopping for fuel. But also, the Winnebago conveniently locates the leveling jack system just inside the door as well. So that way you can actually be standing out and watching those jacks operate as you move them up and down and get situated once you're in your campsite or resort. These are the hydraulic leveling jacks from LCI. Also located right in your driver's door are going to be the controls for these front shades that we talked about earlier, as well as the heat for your mirrors. don't know, Josh, as we're here in this area, if you can take a look at those side mirrors. Not only are they powered as well as have that defrost in them, but that's also where you'll find the side camera system. So those side cameras on the Adventure and Suncruiser are actually controlled by your blinker. So anytime that you're traveling down the road, anytime that you should need to change lanes or make a turn, enter the freeway, anything like that, when you put your blinker on, it'll automatically turn to that side of the camera and shoot down that side of your coach so that you can make sure there aren't any other vehicles coming and basically cover that blind spot that you otherwise wouldn't be able to see. So a really nice safety factor.
You can actually showcase that, Casey, since we have this running right now. You can actually put the turn signal on, and Josh, you can show the rear view camera and how it'll articulate over.
So right now, as you can see, we are looking at the rear of the coach, which will also automatically come on anytime that your coach is in reverse. But if I do just flip the blinker, you'll see that this is now shooting down the driver's side of the RV. Of course, we have our slide rooms out, so you'll notice that that's a big portion of what you're seeing right now. But as you can see, it shoots down that entire side of your coach. If I switch that over, it'll automatically shoot down the other side as well. So as you can see, we also have our 32H and 37F set up here on either side of the 35P.
While we're in that location, Casey, Scott had chatted in a couple of questions that I just want to cover right now. The first was wanting to know whether or not GPS is available in that Jensen system, and currently it is not. We do have options where we can change that out. We've also had great success with some of the smartphone apps that are out there. Scott had also chatted in a question wanting to know whether or not there was a grilling accessory for the propane tank on the curbside. And with respect to this particular floor plan, the propane is actually on that side right now, so that's very easy to tee into. In floor plans in which the propane is actually located on the driver's side, we can actually tee in a connection if it's available to where we can actually get the piping over to it. So we can add that to really any coach, assuming that we can get it set up in a safe environment. Lastly, Scott also wanted to know whether or not in-motion satellite is available on the 32H, and it certainly is. It's pre-wired just like this coach. There's a couple of different in-motion satellite systems that are available, so with respect to pricing, if you just shoot us an email or give us a call, we can walk you through what those options are. But again, it's all pre-wired from Winnebago Industries, whether it's this 32H, 35P, or the 37F. And all the wiring is run to one certain spot, and we do it on a daily basis, so we're certainly familiar with it. We can put in any type of a satellite system that you want. So 3 really great questions from Scott. Thank you.
Located just below where you have that rear monitor system, you have a few of your controls here for the front cab area. First, you'll find the controls for your auxiliary defroster fans. You have both a high as well as a low mode for those. It'll basically just kind of help you defrost this big one-piece windshield that you have. Those can be swiveled if you need some additional air for yourself instead. You can turn that away from the window to point that at you. Next to that is going to be that auxiliary coach heat that I was talking about earlier that allows you to heat the coach off of the heat off of the engine. So again, you have a low as well as a high mode for that. Next to that, you'll find a convenient control for your generator. So this allows you to start and stop your generator either from here in the one-place panel where we looked at earlier, or of course on the unit itself. Again, that's a 5,500 watt Cummins own-in gas generator. And then you also have the control switch for your radio so that you can choose which batteries ultimately that's running off of, whether it be your engine while you're driving down the road or your house batteries once you're parked. Do have a really convenient location of a 12-volt access just here, so it does give you a really great spot if you again, if you do need a GPS system, you can simply plug that in here and you have a great location to set that as well.
And then while we're up front near the engine, Scott just chatted in a question wanting to know fuel economy, and you'll hear a lot of different ranges from different different dealers telling you certain things, but the basic mileage logs that we've received from our customers demonstrate that this coach typically achieves somewhere between 7.5 to 9 miles per gallon on the highway. So if you do tow, it'll be slightly right around that 7 to 7.5 mark, but that doesn't really make a big impact with the Ford Triton V10s. This is a 6.8 liter boasting 457 pounds-feet of torque and 362 horses. It's paired up with a 5-speed automatic torque shift transmission that does also include a grade braking system when you utilize the tow haul mode. So what that allows you to do is utilize the power of that 5-speed torque shift transmission to assist in your braking, and what that allows you to do is it keeps your brakes cooler and certainly alleviates wear and tear on your brakes. So really good questions on fuel economy and engine performance from Scott, so thank you for that.
Yep, and that tow haul mode is very easy to use. It's simply located right here on your shifter. There's just a button at the end of it that'll allow you to go into that tow haul mode.
And while we're up front covering some mechanics, Lee had chatted in a question wanting to know whether or not we use AGM batteries. And for those of you that aren't aware of what that is, an AGM battery is a sealed maintenance-free battery. It's a glass mat battery that utilizes a gel style as opposed to a liquid marine style wet cell battery. And we utilize those only on the coaches where we have the residential style refrigerators, where we're actually running the refrigerators off of those and pairing them up with a pure sine wave inverter. So really on our diesel pusher lineup on up, it's certainly something that we can actually install on any coach. So a good question from Lee on the AGM glass mat batteries. A follow-up question on the audio visual from what we had up front. Daryl had chatted in a question saying even though you showed the front speakers, we didn't see the rear speakers. And if you look up top there, Josh, behind you, you can see the drop-down surround sound speakers that are included within the audio visual. So true 5-channel surround sound, and then the subwoofer is mounted down below inside the galley area.
Yep, so you'll have that same style of speaker both on above the both cab chairs, basically. That's where those are located.
So really great questions today. Again, we'll keep the questions and answers coming. You can chat in those questions in the lower right-hand corner of your screen.
Both the passenger as well as the driver's side will also have the pull-down shades for when you're driving down the road. If you need to block out the glare of the sun, you can do that here with this roller solar shade as well. And then of course you have the curtains that will cover this side window and snap into place, so that way you can completely block out the cab area once you're parked in your campground or resort.
And a follow-up question to the audio-visual, in which I'm going to self-admittedly tell everyone that I'm stumped on. Scott wanting to know what the brand of speakers are, and I don't know what that is, Scott, unfortunately. I apologize for that. But if you do just shoot in your email or phone number, we can certainly follow up with Winnebago and let you know what brand those speakers are. But again, the 2 surround sound speakers in the rear are the ones that are overhead right now, and right surround sounds. And then the center channel and left-right speakers are up above the Samsung high-definition TV.
Kind of one other thing to point out here in the dinette is that you do have a really convenient location of the 110 volt outlet as well as a 12 volt outlet located right here in the dinette. Another nice feature when you do have the dinette is in the 32H as well as in the 35P is that then you do get a child seat anchor as well. So if you are traveling with infants, you can actually anchor down those child seats to that tether. So just a nice safety feature that Winnebago utilizes.
And a good question that just came in, Scott actually wanted to take a pan through the 32H. So we're actually going to step next door into our Winnebago 32H that we have here on the ground. So give us just a second. You can follow along with us. We'll cover some aspects inside the step well as we go outside, and we'll jump next door into our 32H that we also have available here at our dealership, which is literally only 1 mile from the factory here in Forest City, Iowa.
So as we exit, Josh, I'll give you a little shot at some of the controls that are here just inside the door. Ultimately, that's going to be your disconnects for both your chassis as well as your house batteries, the disconnect for your step, as well as a master control switch for all of your compartment lights, and the control for your electric awning.
And before we jump outside of the 35B, Richard had chatted in a question wanting to know what the MSRP on this 35P is, and it's $176,000. And if you go to our website, Richard, we actually have the window stickers of literally every new RV that we have here in stock there so you can actually look at them in a PDF format. You can see all the content that's on that. So good question. We'll jump inside the 32H next, and then we'll also cover that window sticker for you as well.
And also, as we exit and we take a look at those controls, right below where my feet are right now is actually where your house batteries will be stored, and your chassis battery for that matter. So you get a convenient location to access those right inside the entry door. And then we'll head over to the 32H.
One of the things that's really nice about having those batteries in that location is literally you actually have the natural light, which you can see as we exit, so that you can service those batteries. We're going to step outside here. You can see the full body base coat, clear coat finish that Winnebago utilizes, and also the exterior entertainment center.
The 35P does have 125 cubic feet of exterior storage, as well as the 37F for that matter. As we move over to the 32H, I believe that has about 112 cubic feet of exterior storage. Also has the exterior entertainment center. So this is the 32H. As you can tell, floor plan wise, it's actually pretty similar to the 35P, except it's slightly shorter and has 2 slides rather than 3. So as you can see, your dinette is located here behind the passenger seat. Again, just not on the slide room like what it is on the 35P. This is still the benchmark and dream style dinette, so you can easily make that down into a bed, as well as easily access all of your storage located below. I'm just going to switch off that auxiliary coach heater that you can hear running.
And while Casey's doing that, we'll cover Richard had asked, also wanting to know what the MSRP of the 32H is. This one comes in just a hair over $161, so about a $19,000 price difference. Keep in mind that on the 35P that we showcased earlier, one of the biggest cost options was the upgrade to the 24,000 pound gross vehicle weight rating chassis. So that was probably the biggest jump in cost between those two.
As you can see here, it also features the dual control rest easy sofa that we looked at in the 35P. So again, you can control each side of the sofa independently. Also has MCD shades throughout. Again, very similar floor plan features. Has the full wall slide that you're seeing now that houses the rest easy sofa, as well as your entire galley and a lot of your wardrobe space in the bedroom.
And a good question that just came in from Scott wanting to know whether or not that dinette would hold 6 people like the 35P. And actually it would not, because it's not the extendable setup, and that extendable setup in the 35P is the one that showcased the extension on the dinette with the additional 2 hardwood folding chairs that we saw that were stored underneath the king bed in the 35P. So really this will still sleep 6, but it has the capability of seating 4 around the dinette area.
Yep, just like the dinette in the 35P, it does also have 3 seat belts. So again, you have 3 in the dinette as well as 2 in your sofa in addition to the cab chairs. As you can see at the bottom of the dinette, that's where that child seat anchor is located.
So we always place those in the forward facing seat, and that's the tether for the top of a child seat. So.
Just like in the 35P, you do have the Samsung television, this being a 32-inch, as well as the matrix selection system and all of your controls for your entertainment center here located in one place. Blu-ray player as well, that's also Samsung.
So the entertainment setup is identical to the 35P. Again, it includes the opportunity to have any type of a satellite offered. It still utilizes all the same high definition technology with the HDMI, preserving the high definition signal, whether it comes from the Blu-ray or if it comes from the satellite system or even from the local off-air King Control jack antenna. So great setup inside the Adventure and Suncruiser. The heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system, the exact same setup as before. None of the cold air return grates are exposed, so a very, very quiet setup. One continuous plenum of cold air return and one continuous plenum of forced air, and then we pipe all the water runoff to the rear of the coach.
With the 32H being a slightly shorter floor plan, you'll notice kind of your primary differences here in the bedroom area. So I believe someone earlier had asked about a pantry. In the 35P, that's where you have your optional stacked washer and dryer. Whereas in the 32H, you do actually have dedicated pantries. So there's two separate slide-out pantries that both of them have the adjustable shelves inside. Really great convenience. It does keep all of your canned goods in place, keep them from rolling away from you when you're driving down the road. And so again, there's two of those, both of them identical, that'll give you that adjustable pantry storage.
You know, those are all hardwood adjustable shelves, and they're split so that you can actually store heavier items in there. So there's a dedicated split up top and down below, so you can place heavier items in there. As we're working our way back to the bedroom, Drew had asked a question about solar panel options inside the one-place panel. And we used to utilize a 10-watt solar panel trickle charger, and we've gone away from that. But we can actually, we've done a lot of different solar installations here at our dealership. We do quite a few, especially on some of our Sprinter lineups. Obviously, this would be very, very simple, tying that into the trickle charging system for the house, and then we can also tie that into a trickle start system so that it also actually charges your Ford starting battery. So there's a wide variety of solar options that we can do, and all of those we can tie into the one-place panel.
Unlike the 35P, the 32H does have the queen-size mattress instead. It does come standard with the queen inner spring. We have optioned it for the Ideal Rest Select Comfort, just like what we had in the 35P, except of course in the queen size instead. Really great thing about it, again, you have the nightstands that both have the 110 volt outlets located on each side, but a really great addition of a drawer located here at the bottom of the nightstand. Again, just like with all the other drawers that Winnebago uses, it is full length extension, so you get a really great capacity in there that you can access every square inch of that. And just like in the 35P, you also have some really great storage below your bed. Again, this storage space is on struts, so as you can see, you don't have to struggle to keep that open. It does that all on its own. As we kind of swivel around here, again, you'll notice, like in the 35P, you had that rear wardrobe space that was located on the back wall. The 32H, being a shorter floor plan, does not have that space. Instead, all of your wardrobe and storage area in the bedroom is located across from the bed. So again, you get a full drawer stack that all has full-length extension drawers, a nice tip-out jalousie style window located just above that. So that way you can crank that out and still keep that open if you are experiencing some nominal rain. It keeps that moisture from coming inside the coach. And so here in the 32H, you'll find all of your hanging wardrobe storage here in this mirrored wardrobe closet. One of the things, you know, Winnebago puts a lot of really great quality into their coaches, and a lot of the stuff we kind of take advantage of or take for granted, being that they do all of these things. One of the nice things that I don't believe any other manufacturer does, Winnebago actually puts a label on every single cabinet, so that way, should you ever have any damage to it, if it gets chipped, if the mirror gets cracked, anything like that, and you need to replace anything, you simply just have to read off the numbers on this sticker to our parts department, and they can easily ship you whatever replacement part you need.
And a really good question that just came in from Scott. He noticed as we walked on the outside of the 32H and the 35P, the location of the generator. And so I thought it would be a good opportunity for us to actually just turn the generator on, which I did. And so, Scott, it's really up to you to determine whether or not you can determine any noise coming from that generator. But very, very quiet, very, very well insulated, and we've got the generator running right now.
Yeah, you can really hardly even hear that at all in the bedroom. As Josh and I were walking around the bedroom area was when Ron started it, and I didn't even notice that he'd done it.
And then just a follow-up question from Scott, wanting to know if we could cover the bedding options in the 32H compared to the 35P, queen versus king.
Right. So again, the 32H will come standard with a queen inner spring mattress, which is exactly the same as the 35P. That's also what's standard in the 35P is the queen inner spring. Both of them, you can upgrade that option to go with the Ideal Rest Select Comfort queen style bed. The only difference is that the 35P has the optional king bed, whereas the 32H does not. The 32H being the shorter floor plan, it does have to be a queen size bed instead. So this is a full 60 by 80 inch queen.
And then while we're still back in the bedroom, Bob asked that I showcase for him where his dresser is based on his relationship with his wife, and so this is where Bob had indicated where his clothes go. So good question and a good point. We all know our place.
So again, just like in the 35P that we were in, our 35P as well as our 32H are both Suncruisers. So this is the opal interior with the coffee glazed Vienna maple cabinetry. So both of the interiors are the same in both of the two coaches that we have. We can take a quick look inside of the bathroom here in the 32H. Pretty similar to what we saw in the 35P, a little bit of a different style when it comes to the shower. But again, both of them have some really great storage. They'll both have the switch that'll control the powered ventilator fan that you'll find in the ceiling, as well as the additional water pump switch. And as you can see, some really nice natural light coming in through the shower skylight as well. This is the one-piece pan as well as the one-piece surround, just like in the 35P, except this does feature the textured glass sliding door versus that garden-style corner shower that we saw in the 35P. The 32H also features that auxiliary coach heat that does have a vent that comes back into the bedroom area. It's pretty cold here in Iowa today, and that is solely what we use to heat up the coach, and it's very comfortable in here.
Yeah, as you can see, it's 70 degrees inside the coach, and we haven't even turned the furnace on. We've just been running off the auxiliary coach heat, so that gives us the opportunity to actually heat the coach as we travel down the road and not have to use our furnace. And as we begin to wrap up, one thing that Richard had asked, and also I had the same question from Daryl, wanting to know if we could showcase the 37F. So we're going to jump 2 coaches down, and we're going to go next door to our 37F that we also have here in stock. So as we work our way next to the 37F, we literally are just a mile from Winnebago Industries with the Winnebago manufacturing plant 1 mile south of our dealership here in Forest City, literally making us the closest dealer to the Winnebago Industries plant in the country. This allows us to provide factory fresh coaches to all of our consumers. It allows us to break in the coach in accordance with the way Ford Motor Company and Winnebago Industries request that you break the coach in. No towing, no delivery miles, and completely factory fresh. So we're going to jump inside the triple slide 37F.
So as you can see, we also have the exterior entertainment system. This is the Spring Mist full body paint. And let's get that unlocked for you. So again, this is the 35F floor plan. Excuse me. It's a very residential style floor plan. As you can see, just like what we saw in the 32H as well as the 35P, it does have the dual control rest easy sofa. So you can run each side of that independently. Oh, let me turn off that auxiliary coach heater that we have on in here as well. Again, it's very nice and comfortable in here.
And so Casey, as our RV sales manager, Scott just chatted in a point that he wanted to let everybody know, including the 145 viewers that we have right now, to let Nicole know not to sell this particular coach because this one's good.
Good to know. We'll be sure to let her know that. So this is the travertine interior. As you can see, Ron is taking down that TV. It's on a powered lift. So that way whenever you're not utilizing the TV, you have this really nice window located just across from that. This is the buffet, is what Winnebago would call it. So what's really great about it is that you get the flexibility of having table and chairs so that you're not sliding in and out of a dinette. However, you don't lose the storage because you still have all the storage that's located in the buffet. So you get some really nice cabinet storage as well as some drawers up above. This also has the hardwood folding chairs like what we saw with the extendable dinette in the 35P that come along with the buffet. So this buffet will basically just extends out. You have an additional table piece that'll fit right into here that will allow you to seat those 2 additional hardwood folding chairs.
So a real nice residential setup here because we have the dining table and buffet, and I'm going to go ahead and take that TV up again, Josh, and show people just how quickly that TV actually does come up. And then in addition, you can see just the size of the television. With it being at a residential eye level, you don't have to kink your neck looking at some of the other manufacturers that utilize the TVs over the cockpit. Very residential feel. Again, this is tied into the same audio-visual system that we utilized in the 32 and 35. So complete high definition. It's paired up with the Blu-ray player. You can bring in high definition programming from your local off-air antenna, any of the satellite options that we offer, and just a wonderful setup from a residential perspective. You do have the capability of seating 4 people around the dining area, 2 with the up front ultra leather cab seats that rotate, and then actually 4 people here in the dual control Rest Easy, as well as with the light and nimble Euro chair that we offer.
So this powered TV, you actually have 2 different switches, so that way whether you are seated at the buffet, you can control that from here, or as Ron was controlling it earlier, if you're actually sitting in the lounge chair or in the Rest Easy sofa, there's a control switch right overhead that you can bring that up and down as well. So this is, this would be the optional, or no, it's not optional. Yeah, this is the Euro lounge chair that has a built-in footrest as well. You used to see separate foot ottomans, and now they've actually incorporated that all into one chair. So you just have the flip-up footrest, which is great. Just like what we saw in the other coaches, you also have the MCD solar as well as the night roller shades. That's all consistent throughout. Corian countertops, full-length extension drawers.
And since there are so many similarities, the one last thing that Daryl had asked that we cover is just the bedding option in the rear, because this is something that's a really well-thought design from Winnebago Industries in allowing us to maintain a true 80-inch bed. So, as Ron was talking about, there is a bit of a difference when it comes to the sleeping in the RV. The 37F, this is a king-size bed. The thing that's different about it is that it's pneumatically powered, which basically means that with the flip of a button, it actually brings your headrest up. So what's nice about that is, again, this is just part way up, but you can stop that at any point. So that even if you want to be sitting in bed and working on your laptop or reading a book, you can actually do that with the back of your bed up, and then simply put that down at night. There are power controls on both sides of the bed so that you can lay that down. So the great thing about it, because it's powered, that allows us to have a full wardrobe space on the opposite side. So a lot of other manufacturers, what you'll see when because they don't have a powered bed, is that this storage space will basically stair step up because the bed has to come over that storage because it's not powered. So since ours is powered, and when you bring your slide rooms in, you simply power the head up, that allows you to have all this storage space. You'll get the really nice mirrored wardrobe for hanging storage, as well as the drawer stacks down below, as well as the full bank here. The 37F is a bath and a half floor plan. So where we saw the full bath in the 32H and the 35P is a little half bath.
and then your full bath is located here in the rear. You get a really nice, what Winnebago would term as a big shower, which it is. It's extremely spacious. And then of course you can see that you do have, this is actually the Tecma style toilet, which basically means that you have powered flush by the touch of a button. So you can control the amount of water that you're using with this control panel here. Again, you'll have water pump switches in both bathrooms.
I'll open the shower.
We'll take a quick look inside the shower here. As you can see, you get plenty of room in here. I'll just go ahead and step right inside. So you get plenty of room in a very large shower. This is an adjustable shower head, so you do have the on and off located just there so that you can conserve water when you're using the shower as well. And as we mentioned at the beginning of the webcast, we can give any of you a walk around video just like this in whatever coach you'd like that we have here in stock. With any of our sales consultants can give you a live tour of that RV.
Just a couple of follow-up questions as Josh works his way back up front. George had chatted in a question wanting to know just a couple of things on the Acuity flush, and those are a power assisted flush toilet. We do that so that we can literally place our toilet locations in any location within the coach. We don't have to place them directly over the gravity fill, which is the traditional way of setting up the septic system with respect to an RV. He had also wanted to know what the water usage was, and there's two different levels, and to be honest with you, I'd have to research that, and I certainly can, George. If you want to just shoot us an email or give us a call, we can research that and find out what the water consumption is, whether it be the conservation flush or the full flush. But again, those are power assisted flushes. So good questions and good points that you've raised. Really great participation today, and I want to thank everybody for joining us. At one point we had over 400 viewers online with us here with our webcast today, showcasing the entire factory fresh Adventure and Suncruiser lineup, the 32H, the 35P, and the 37F. Keep in mind, for those of you that tuned in late, we will archive this overnight, and we'll have it live on our video library so that you can watch it at any point in time. You can also check out the archived Satellite 101 with our guests from King Controls in Minneapolis, and also check out that Satellite 101 video. I know Scott had a lot of great questions on the audio-visual setup. So again, keep in mind, as Casey said, we can actually do a live presentation on an interactive level in which any of our sales consultants can take you through any of our in-stock coaches. We have the capability of tying that into your home or office at any point in time. We can also conference in a partner or spouse so that we can engage in three-way conversation, and we can do that live on any of our in-stock coaches. So again, thank you for joining us today. We are here at Litson Motors. We're only a mile north of the Winnebago Industries facility here in Forest City, Iowa, making us America's closest dealer to Winnebago, Itasca, and Era here in Forest City, Iowa. Again, enjoy this first day of spring here in 2013. Get out there and go RVing. Thanks for joining us today.